Hey, this is Dylan from Punk Rock Radar, aka Titty Baby Punk Boy, aka Screeching Bottle Rocket, and you are watching Crash and Bleed.
I might as well just sleep it off. Wishful thinking's got my wires crossed.
Now, you're the Less Than Jake guy of the Radar Gang. That's how I've come to know you. I
The
love
Less Than
the
Jake
way
guy.
I always love the way that you talk about Losing Streak as being the best album, and I just dig the shit that you say about this band. But firstly, how did Less Than Jake get onto your radar?
So I'm 29. So like most people my age, Green Day was the band that got them into the genre. But I was looking for something more accessible, like a band I can see multiple times a year and stuff. Like Green Day, I live in Tampa, Florida, and Green Day only comes here like every 4 or 5 years. So I'm like, I saw Green Day for the first time, and I was like, fuck, man, I want to see Green Day again. And I know it's gonna be like 5 fucking years before they come back. So I don't know, I'm looking for bands to check out, and I find All My Best Friends Are Metalheads by Less Than Jake on YouTube. This was in 2007, 2008. So I was pretty late to the party on Less Than Jake. And I'm like, shit, these guys are from Florida. They're from Gainesville. And they're about to play here on the Warped Tour. And in 2009, they came on the Warped Tour. And then after that, I was like, they're playing Tampa or St. Petersburg, Florida, like at least 2 times a year. So it's like, man, these guys are like always playing here. I see them play and they're like hanging out after the shows. They're talking to fans and stuff. So that was really it. It was Green Day and then it was Less Than Jake. And Less Than Jake is my all-time favorite band now. I've seen them play so many times and they're great every time. I've only seen Green Day twice because that's how many times they've come here since I got into them. So that's the origin story of how I became the Less Than Jake fanboy.
Yeah, for me it was the mixtapes in the 90s. Like I was saying to Elliot, because the tapes were blank, you didn't know any of the bands. You'd just get handed a mixtape, and I knew Blink and The Offspring. They were the only bands that I knew the names of. So I heard like NoFX, Bad Religion, Less Than Jake. Couldn't put a name to it. But once the Gainesville Rock City video came out, I was like, shit,
Yeah.
you know, there's something really special about this band. And you know, Anthem followed that album. So those were my first two albums. So I think I became a fan around 2001.
So my first album that I bought was GNVFLA, which is a pretty good introduction. That's a great album. So I bought that was the first CD I bought. I bought it at FYE, which if you don't know, it used to be a big chain of music stores in the States. And it was mainly CDs. So I got it on CD that it was only had been out for like a year, but the case was like completely beat to shit, and like the guy who had it before me like folded the front of the digipack over, and it looked like trash. But it was like $2. That was like the best $2 CD I ever bought, probably.
Dude, and that's such a great album as well. That's one of my favourites. I feel like I've owned the original cassette of Losing Streak at some point. I feel like I owned it, but I must have given it a... Oh, shit. Is that
It's
the
not.
original?
It's from Indonesia. I don't know.
So, this is a ska punk band, and for me,
Yes.
it seems a lot of average punk rockers, especially these days, will tell you ska sucks. So, why do you think ska resonated with you? Because you're the grumpy one. The ska's silly, bouncy music, you know, I don't think people can take the instruments seriously.
Well, I mean, I would say first and foremost, Less Than Jake is a punk band, and I mean, obviously, like earlier records like Pezcore and all the 7 inches and making fun of things we don't understand and all that stuff. That was like prominently ska forward. But I would say everything since Losing Streak has been 60% of the record at minimum is punk with some horns, and then the rest of it is ska, or the verse of the song has ska chords and the chorus is power chords. So they're not like the Boss Tones or the Slackers or like a band where it's 90% ska for the most part. So I would say they're probably Less Than Jake is one of the most accessible ska bands for someone who has like a grudge against ska. Um, but even then, I get that. But I mean, music isn't, in my opinion, music isn't meant to be taken seriously or anything. Like it's about having a good time and listening to what you like. So I really don't give a shit what if people take it serious or not. But I can get where some people might have some reservations about that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of these releases that we have. Like,
Yeah.
firstly, Losers, Kings, and Things We Don't Understand. A lot of these songs, like Lucky Day and Who Holds the Power Ring, I would say those single tracks are better than the entire Pezcore album, because for me it feels like there's a sense of urgency in the recording. There's something very authentic that's coming through. It's like, we need to record this now before the band breaks up. There might not be a band tomorrow. And a lot of that seems to not be present on Pezcore. Like, why do you think
all those songs are from 7 Inches? They came out before Pezcore, obviously. So like Smoke Spot, the first 7 inch. This has the first version of Mike Sinkovich on it, I think. What's it got on it? It's got fucking the back of the sleeve doesn't have the track list on it, so it's got Glumble, Lucky Day, Power Ring, Wish Pig, Awkward Age. So Mike Sinkovich is not on here. I'm misremembering, I guess. And then they got what else? They had the Unglued. Sorry. We got Pez Kings, which has, again, they don't have the fucking track list on the thing. Unglued, which has Time and a Half, Econologue, and Black Coffee, which a lot of people say is one of the best Less Than Jake songs. G-Man, Training Target, this has some of the TV cover songs, the Dukes of Hazzard, Jefferson's, Happy Days. So all the songs on there are just from a bunch of 7 inches, and then the Making Fun of Things You Don't Understand 10 inch. So that's why the sound quality is all over the place. They probably recorded it at like a dozen different studios throughout the state of Florida over a few years. And all the 7 inches, it's got liner notes, and it says we recorded this in an afternoon at whatever studio, and we smoked this many cigarettes and stuff. So it was all very hastily done and stuff. But I will say, there's some songs that are on the compilation and on Pezcore that I kind of prefer on the Losers, Kings, and Things. And I think the main one would be Mike Sinkovich. And that's mainly because of the reason you mentioned, where it sounds more urgent, I guess. It sounds like it's super, super fucking hype. Like, they played it last weekend at the Wake and Bake thing in Gainesville, and it sounded closer to the Losers, Kings, and Things version of the song, where like they're rushing like certain parts, and it's like all over the place. It's such a fucking awesome song. But yeah, I agree to an extent, and I don't think the production on Pezcore is anything like to write home about. So yeah, I get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, and the standout track for me is Shotgun, the early version of Shotgun. The music of that, you can hear the bass playing so perfectly. It's so crisp. The only downside is on the Pezcore album, Chris's vocals are just better. The way he sings the song. But the music on the early version, so perfect. I love it.
Yeah. His balls dropped when they made Pezcore.
And I gotta say too, Less Than Jake was my third favourite band. Oh yeah, that's the picture.
This thing sounds like shit. Your third favorite band? Who were the first two?
Well, back in the day, it was Blink and The Offspring, but then it changed to NoFX. Like once Blink changed and got all weird, so NoFX, then Bad Religion were my first two favourite bands. Less Than Jake was third, but that was until they put out See the Light, that kind of changed things for me. They just went lower down in the rankings for me. But for almost 2 decades, they were my third favourite band. This might blow your mind. You might find this hard to get your head around. But I'd say they're still in my top 20. But when I bumped them out of third, like, I had never once used the internet in my life. So I had no way to ever know when new albums were coming out, anything like that. So
I had never used Discogs before. Like, I didn't know Less Than Jake had 76 fucking records out.
So I have a confession to make. I've never heard the G-Man Training Target or the Muppets record from 96.
They're on the Losers, Kings, and Things compilation, I'm pretty sure. So you've heard them through that.
Every track?
Let's compare apples to apples here. Pull up your Losers, Kings, and Things.
Alright.
Does it have Dukes of Hazzard?
Yes, it does.
The Jeffersons.
No.
Okay, there you go. You're missing one. Three's Company. I don't even remember what that is at this point. Three's Company.
No.
And Happy Days. I think Happy Days is on there, no?
It's not on there. Not on this issue.
All right, and then this one we got Rainbow Connection and Moving Right Along. I think some of these are on Goodbye Blue and White.
No, they are not, actually.
They got it. They're on somewhere in, like, as bonus tracks and stuff. I know it for sure.
Okay. Well, so it turns out I've only heard the Dukes of Hazzard from those 2 records then.
There's this too, the Birthday Cake. I don't remember exactly what's on this. There's a lot. I think Last Train is on this. And then there's a live song too.
Well, just before we get out of the early years, what's your standout track, like pre-Pezcore?
I would say Mike Sinkovich is the head and shoulders above everything else pre-Pezcore.
Yeah. So, how did you feel about the original Pezcore recording?
It's like a product of its time, I'd say. The recording quality is terrible. But Losing Streak's my all-time favorite record by any band. So Pezcore kind of has the deck stacked against it because Losing Streak's right after. So it's such a big jump. But I still like listening to it. I don't listen to it nearly as much as Losing Streak, but it's a top 10 Less Than Jake album, to be certain.
So, do you have your computer nearby? Because I was going to send you my track listing for Pezcore. You don't have it nearby?
No. So we talked about this for the folks at home. Jay wanted to resequence a Less Than Jake album of her choosing. So I'm going to guess you resequenced Pezcore, which is quite the undertaking. It's like 20 songs, isn't it?
That's the point, man. It's too long. Like halfway through,
So
I'm kind of over it. I've removed so many songs from this album. So,
Really?
firstly, the song Liquor Store. To me, that doesn't sound like a great album opener. It seems like one of those 7-inch songs. It should have just stayed on an EP somewhere. I don't like it on the album. I'm starting the album with My Very Own Flag.
That's respectable. I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's just a much better opener. Then, so it goes My Very Own Flag, then it goes to Big, then it goes to Black Coffee, then Throw the Brick. So, let me see what I'm cutting off here. So, Liquor Store's gone, the early version of Johnny Quest. No. No. It's way better on Losing Streak. Shotgun's gone.
Even though I like the vocal performance on that one. Back to the album tracks, we have Growing Up on the Couch,
Blindsided, Downbeat, Robo, Process, Short on Ideas, One Last Cigarette, and the Laverne and Shirley cover, which means
Jen, Out of the Crowd, Mike Sinkovich, 3 Quarts Drunk, Boomtown is gone. Do we have any issues with this? Because I think that's the worst Less Than Jake song.
I don't have an issue with that song, but I do. Another song you got rid of, I have a massive issue with.
Oh, go on.
Mike Sinkovich, dude. You can't get rid of that.
No, but the
And
early version's better.
well, it's still good. You got rid of Out of the Crowd also. I think I really like that song. And you got rid of Process and
No, Process
Three
is there.
Chords.
Process is there.
Okay. You got rid of Three Quarts Drunk though. That's a great song.
Oh, no, I can't handle it. It's too repetitive for me.
I guess I was holding the new pressing of Pezcore. This sounds terrible, by the way. It looks cool, but it sounds awful.
Oh.
The forever version of it. I don't know what that means. They'll probably repress it again at some point.
I think the album cover is terrible as well. It just holds it back a little bit for me. You know what I would have done is, yeah. What I would have done is, you know that little cartoon blonde boy they use as kind of a mascot for the band sometimes?
Yeah, the Evo kid. He didn't exist yet at this point.
See, well, this is Fantasyland, so what I would do is go back in time and I'd be in charge of the album cover and I'd just have that kid like holding up two Pez sticks like in an X, like drumsticks or something. That would have been a better album cover to me, I think.
Maybe the 50th anniversary reissue. You can be in charge of the art direction.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I reached out to some people at the Punk Rock Museum because I wanted to do an interview with them, and they said, you should talk to Vinny. So I'm thinking, if I can get Vinny on, that's one step closer to fucking Chris, Roger. I can
Maybe. You know, Vinny is like the curator for the Punk Rock Museum. He's like schedules the tours and stuff with like the special celebrity guests.
Yeah, that would be amazing to talk to him. So, yeah, you don't have any serious issues with this new track listing?
The Mike Sinkovich omission is a serious issue in my opinion. But you kept Robo, which is one of my favorite songs on the album, so that I guess that'll offset it. I'll allow it. I do you told me resequence. We'll get to it when we talk about the one I did. I didn't know we could chop songs off. I thought it was just moving around the songs. But I agree the album is a little long in the tooth, so I'm fine with taking some songs off.
Yeah. But I just got to say as well, One Last Cigarette. Short on Ideas, One Last Cigarette. That is the only golden track on the album for me. That is what I think about when I think about that album.
It's the best on the album. But there's other good ones. But I would say it stands out from the rest. It stands out of the crowd, you could say.
I could not tell you what song that is. I don't remember it.
That ring a bell? I don't know. The
Nothing.
horn part.
I was just listening to the album last week. I've got nothing. I don't remember
Anyway.
it. Do we hate the Greased EP? Are we not going to acknowledge that one?
Yeah, let's don't bother with that. It's I don't know. Some people like it, but I'm not a big covers guy, and they just did it for fun. Obviously it sounds not very great. So yeah, let's gloss over that one. Let's go to Losing Streak, man. The greatest fucking album by any band ever. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Losing Streak had the largest set of songs from any album that I'd heard before Borders came out.
Those were on the mixtapes like Shindo, Automatic, Happy Man, 9 Foot Pine, fucking Lockdown, Rock and Roll Pizzeria. I heard all those tracks before I decided that I loved the band. So they were already like embedded in my DNA. And then once I got Losing Streak, I was like, this is fucking incredible. I have a shitty version of this, by the way. This is the Rockview Losing Streak
Combo.
And
I've seen that.
This is badly made. Losing Streak is the original CD. So I do have the original, but Rockview is the last second of each track is attached to the beginning of the next track. It's fucking awful.
It like fades into it.
No,
that was like you.
So last one out of Liberty City ends, and then you hear Chris go, "Sit down," and then it stops, and then it carries on.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
I wonder why they did that.
fuck knows, it fucking sucks. But yeah, Losing Streak, tell me about it, man. What hits you? What's golden? Aside from the entire album.
Losing Streak, dude. I don't know. Like I said, Gainesville, Florida was the first one I bought, but this is the first full record I listened to, and it's so listenable. It's hard to explain. This is the new pressing on Rude Records that came in this box set here, this gargantuan box with the redundant Less Than Jake logo on it twice for some reason. It's hard to explain. I mean, you called out a ton of great songs already. Shindo, very underrated song in my opinion. My favorite on the album is Rock and Roll Pizzeria. But a lot of people prefer the album after this, but this one's a little more raw, and like we were talking about, the mix of ska and punk, it's a little more ska heavy than everything after it. But it's hard to put into words why I like the album so much. But I asked John from Punk Rock Radar, and he'll corroborate this. I listen to this album at least once a day, every day. When we work together for our real job, and we'll travel for work and get a rental car, and he'll give me shit about. We get in the car in the morning to drive to work, and fucking what's it? Ninth at Pine comes on because it's the song I use as my alarm on my phone when I'm staying in a hotel. And then we just end up listening to the rest of the album on the way to work. So yeah, I really don't know why. I just love the album so much. There's so many great songs. I've seen them play the album live before. I hope they do an anniversary tour for Losing Streak like they did Rockview, where they play the album in full, because it's a great record to see them play live. Like, people love this. Like, hardcore Less Than Jake fans, I feel like this is the album that's their number one. So yeah, Losing Streak is fucking awesome. It's just, I think of like the state of Florida and the city of Gainesville and shit. Like, Losing Streak's the album that comes to mind.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think about some of those early recordings, like the first version of Rock and Roll Pizzeria, and what else we got on here?
From the Cheese 7-inch, right? I think so.
Yeah, that one.
But the early version of Rock and Roll Pizzeria, I think it has an extra snare fill in it. Like, how do you feel about that one?
So I just misspoke. That has its own 7-inch with that pizza box. I don't have that, unfortunately. That's hard to come by. I'm not a big fan of the demo version of it. I don't think there's many other demos recordings floating around from Losing Streak. There's the B-sides like Mixology of Tom Collins and the Losing Streak, the song, which are both great, but I can see why they may not have made the album. But the demo or whatever of Rock and Roll Pizzeria is a little rough, but it is what it is.
I think it's a tad faster as well. It's just
yeah,
a
it's a lot
bit
faster. It's a lot faster. Yeah.
Well, okay, so just Fantasyland. If you were going to include Tom Collins and Losing Streak on the album, are you bumping any tracks off for those, or would you just include them in that set?
Maybe Jen Doesn't Like Me Anymore might be on the chopping block. I can't think of anything else I would. If I had to pick one of the two, though, it would be Mixology. I wouldn't put the title track on the album. Which, by the way, it's so funny to me that a title track didn't make the album. It's like what Face to Face had, Don't Turn Away, and the title track for that didn't make the album, and that's one of my favorite songs from the Don't Turn Away era, Face to Face. So, but Losing Streak, the song, not so much. Mixology is a great song, though.
That's actually a running theme with quite a few bands. NoFX is another one with Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah, good point. It's funny how that happens, though. It seems to be some kind of phenomenon with punk bands. The title track doesn't make the album.
The production of Rockview, how do you feel about this? Because I think the songs are incredible. It's a great album. I think John from Radar, I think he ranks that third, like his third favourite album of all time or something. The production holds
Yeah.
it way back for me. I think maybe the horns might be too loud. Maybe there's too much treble. It kind of hurts my ears. I don't know.
I think it's a great sounding album. Listen to have you ever listened to Chris's podcast, the Chris that makes the podcast?
Yeah, yeah.
There's an early episode that he talks to Howard Benson, who produced Rockview, and he's also produced a lot of other great records. Um, there's a lot of fun facts in that factoids in that podcast episode though. So he claims this is the first album to be recorded with Pro Tools, which is interesting. The first rock album to be recorded with Pro Tools. And then also he used auto-tune on the vocals, which I think he's probably telling the truth, but it's probably very light. Like, it's not noticeable that the vocals are auto-tuned. But he also says he auto-tuned the horns, which I can hear, because the horns sound almost like toy-like, like almost like a MIDI sounding horn. So I definitely hear it on the horns, and it's not like pitch correction, but there's something off about the horn sound. And then the guitar kind of sounds a little toy-like at times as well. So I would say, yeah, I kind of agree that wouldn't say it holds it back, but I like the production on Losing Streak a little more than Rockview. But it's not like noticeably like off or anything. It's just a preference thing. But yeah, I would say it's my second favorite Less Than Jake album, and I don't really have a huge gripe with the production.
I think it's like my third or fourth favourite album. But it's interesting because that's like the fan favourite, I guess. It's either that or Losing Streak. But they had like 3 golden albums in a row, which almost never happens. Bad Religion pulled it off. But, you know, they got Losing Streak, Rockview, and Borders. I think Borders is just as incredible of an album. But before we get to Borders, there's quite a few songs on Blue and White which were recorded around Losing Streak, the Rockview era. Scream 2 had I Think I Love You on their soundtrack. Did you know this?
Yeah. Yes.
So I heard that, and again, I didn't have the internet back then. When I heard that, I went, man, this is a great band. It sounds a lot like Less Than Jake. And I didn't know it was Less Than Jake for about 5 years until I got the CD.
That's funny.
This is one of my all-time favourite CD comps. I think there's just incredible tracks on this.
Yeah, I don't like their covers that much. Aside from the TV EP, which that's just a bunch of, what? Oh, I forgot the track list on this thing. It just says channel whatever. It doesn't say the song names. I went to go look. I know there's the iCarly song and the Phineas and Ferb and all that. I like those songs because they're all like 30 seconds. But the Grease stuff and the Muppets and all that stuff, I'm not very big into their covers of that. Mostly because it's like very hastily recorded and just like a gag thing or whatever. But yeah, it's a fun listen. But maybe once a year I'll go and listen to Blue and White. But the album after it, I listen to a lot.
I do want to say, like, I'm now the most curious to hear, like, those Muppet tracks. Like,
the 7-inches are cheap, dude. When I got them, they were cheap. I don't know now, but yeah, G-Man and the Rain. I think it's just called the Muppets 7-inch or something. I don't know if it's called anything, but I don't know. It's nothing to write home about or anything.
Borders and Boundaries. I don't think they're very good at album covers, so I switched mine round to this.
What about the newer version of it that's bright highlighter yellow?
That looks a little bit better.
Really? I like the
yeah.
old version of it.
Mine's cloudy and it's like really dull.
Yeah, is that the digit? No, that's the you guys got the jewel case in the UK, right? Does it have the bonus tracks, the live songs and stuff?
Nah, it's just the regular. This is the original CD for the UK.
Have you, in the States, we got one that was a digipack that had a compass thing on the back of it. Have you seen that?
No.
Really? It's got a little like interactive thing. I could go grab it, but anyway, you can like twist it and it shows like different places they've been and stuff, and like a little fact about the place. It's on the
Do
back
you
of the case.
do you want to grab that? Because I've got a swollen prostate and I've got a piss.
Sure,
Okay.
swollen pro. I misspoke actually. So this is something different, but it's still cool. You've never seen this. It's got a little compass thing and like a viewfinder, and it tells you the distance of different places in the world from Gainesville. So the first one you'd be interested in, London, England, 4,332 miles from the city of Gainesville. And then you can twist it. It tells you Paramus, New Jersey, Tokyo, and a bunch of other places.
So is that like a promotional release or something like that?
No, this is just how the album was in the States.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, let's continue. Borders and Boundaries had some big shoes to fill after losing streak in Rockview, to be certain.
Well,
So
the
I'm
thing
curious
about
your thoughts on this album.
well, the thing about this is, Pezcore, Streak, and Rockview, they all had that youthful sort of energy. This is like a turning
Yeah.
point for the band. Like, they're grown up now. It's very mature, a very mature sounding album. I think the songwriting is way better. Even though the songs are faster on the earlier albums, this is better songwriting, the best at the point, I think.
I think this is some of Vinny's most like introspective songwriting, and like it's obviously way more serious and stuff than a song about crazy glue or rocking like delivering pizzas and flipping people the bird and stuff.
Aside from Mr. Chevy Celebrity, that's the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
older school kind of song that we get on
And
here.
Pete Jackson. There's still a few fun songs, like goofy songs, but then there's songs about like one of my favorite songs, "Last Hour of the Last Day of Work," is like basically not wanting to be like a burnout, just working your fucking ass off in a factory or whatever, and wanting something bigger out of life. So yeah, I would say it's mostly the more serious stuff. Um, what else is on here? There's "Is This Thing On" is a
Yeah.
real like darker song. So this is like Vinny starting to be more vulnerable, I guess. Which there were some signs of it on Rockview. What was their Al's War on Rockview is a more serious song. But yeah, it's definitely a noticeable shift in tone from the earlier records. And like I said, I didn't get in the band till 8 years, 7 years after this, so I can't speak from firsthand. But I know for a while this wasn't an extremely well received album, mainly because people were like, Less Than Jake's supposed to be fun, party band, happy go lucky, whatever, and where's the ska and all this stuff for the people who are big ska guys. But this album, I always liked it, and even though I already liked it a lot, it's grown on me even more in the last 10 years, I would say. It's one of my favorite. I think it's my third favorite Less Than Jake album. This album is not in any need of resequencing, so it's not the one that I picked. But yeah, Magnetic North, a great way to open the album, and then Faction is also a great way to close the album. Suburban Myth, another song I would presume is about Gainesville.
There's your ska song. A little bit of ska on
Yeah,
that one.
that's like the ska song on the album. And then Gainesville Rock City, an all-time classic. If you were a Less Than Jake fan, before you die, you need to see them play Gainesville Rock City in Gainesville.
I would be
maybe-
surprised if that's not in every Less Than Jake fan's top 10 Less Than Jake songs. Is it in your
Yeah.
top 10?
Yes, of course. One of the all-time great songs of all time. Um, what else we got? Look What Happened, the first version, which I have an opinion on this. Um, the next album we talk about, I prefer the production of and the performance of the song. Look What Happened, but the arrangement of the song I feel like is better on Borders because you get the big like building intro, and then it's just boom right into the.
But
Whereas on
don't you think it's kind of like an iconic live moment when they go straight into that bass line?
yeah, yeah, it is. But the bass into the ba 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 ba, where when that's how they play it live. But on Anthem, it's got that the like the palm muted guitar part after the intro, which is kind of lame. So I prefer the way it's arranged on this album, but the vocal Roger's vocals and stuff and all that are better on the next album we're going to talk about. But do you have anything else to share on Borders? I think this is a fantastic album.
I'm breaking down, I'm burning out, and
Yeah.
it's not funny like on television. Fucking amazing, that song. That's the song that sticks with me. When I think of that album, it's that fucking chorus. Love it. This is my version of Anthem. This has Surrender as the bonus track. Is this just a UK thing? Do you have this?
No, that's just the song is on all versions of the album,
Not on the
which we can
not
talk
on one
about
of the
that.
later reissues.
I don't
It's
know.
got-
It's on my version of the CD, and it's not advertised as being a bonus track. It's just on there.
No, it is. It's advertised as a bonus track on here.
I got the picture disc here. Is it on the picture disc? Which was also released in the UK. It is. It's on here. Surrender. By the way, one of the picture discs, dude. I got the Pezcore one, this one, and Losing Streak. So hit or miss. This Losing Streak one sounds incredible. It sounds just like every other version of the record. This sounds like dog shit, as does the Pezcore one.
But it looks great. That's my favorite looking picture disc.
It looks cool. It looks really cool. I love this album art. But yeah, Surrender is on. It's a standard album track. Maybe the UK they were scamming you guys. They were like trying to make you think you're getting a special bonus. But yeah, this is another. I was talking to my uncle, who by the way also a massive Less Than Jake fan, and I would say he got me into the band. I was talking to him about this is kind of like Less Than Jake's like American Idiot kind of, where it was like a second wind for the band, like their second time on a major label after being on Fat for Borders. And obviously they didn't blow up like Green Day did with American Idiot, but I would say this introduced a lot of new people like yourself. You could talk about that to Less Than Jake. And was
hold on. It was the Gainesville Rock City music video. That's what did it for me.
As far as an album, though, I think this kind of gave them a nice second wind. That they've kind of, like I said, they're not like the same mainstream success as American Idiot, but in their own realm, I think this was a nice boost for the band. And again, I think it's another step up from Borders as far as like the concepts and stuff behind the songwriting. Like it's very focused. There's a lot of songs about like growing up and like moving out of your parents' house and like facing the real world and all that stuff. So more deep thoughts from Vinny Fiorello.
And I think that one song about moving it, I think that made a Tony Hawk game, didn't it? Tony Hawk Underground 2, maybe?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first two, there's Welcome to the New South and then Escape from the A-Bomb House are kind of like the same theme, I guess. You got Look What Happened Again.
I've got a serious problem with the opening track on this album. I don't like it. I skip it every time.
I'm not a big fan of it either. I probably would have put I should have resequenced this one, I would have put "Ghost of Me and You" at the beginning of the album. That'd be a good way to open.
Well, hold your thoughts because I did want to talk about the B's for B-sides. I think
Yeah,
all
we can
those
talk about
tracks.
that.
I think all those
We can
tracks
talk
were
about-
written for this album.
Yeah, to some
Yeah.
extent, yeah, I think so. But let's stay on Anthem for a little bit. Short Fuse Burning, like a staple of the band's set list, still to this day. Obviously, Science of Selling Yourself Short, which, in my opinion, is overstated its welcome a little bit. I kind of am tired of the song a little. But then there's other songs that they like break out like occasionally, just like as a random song to play. Motown, they play that like every few years, and whenever they do, it's awesome. That's a great song. Uh, Best Wishes to Your Black Lung. I don't like She's Gonna Break Soon. Plastic Cup Politics, another staple of the set list. And then what I think should have been the album closer, Brightest Bulb and Screws Fall Out. They play that like every 10 years. They played it this past weekend. But yeah, Surrender, unnecessary. Don't need to close the album with a cover song.
I like it as the ending, man. I do really like that song.
Yeah, I skip the first track and the last track when I listen to Losing Streak normally.
Since you say Science of Selling Yourself Short kind of overstayed its welcome, for me, songs like Motown and Plastic Cup Politics, they didn't hit me within the first few years. When that song overstayed its welcome, those two tracks took over for me. I was like, man, these are the best fucking Roger tracks right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good way to put that for sure.
So,
B is for B-sides.
is it confirmed that this is only like 2003, 2004? Were any of these tracks, do you think, written for Borders?
I don't know. There's the album came with a hype sticker on the thing that said it was all Anthem rejects. So I think you're right. I was just like talking bullshit.
Well, this is the only Less Than Jake release that I have that has an explicit lyrics warning,
Yeah.
and that's a point to make as well. I think after Rockview, they sort of became a band more aimed at children. They stopped saying naughty words. It seemed like on most of the albums after that, until a little bit later, maybe.
I don't think they really ever cussed that much in the songs, aside from like one out of every handful of songs they would say like fuck or something, like Rock and Roll Pizzeria, one hand on the wheel, the other out the window, always fucking up.
Well, you got what the fuck have I become?
Okay, well listen, man. I would say they're pretty close to like fucking MXPX almost with how clean they were for the most part. So they're never like really a huge like cussing band. But yeah, it's interesting that I guess Anthem doesn't have any cussing on it, does it? Because otherwise that would have the. So there you go. That helps my case a little bit. But yeah, that's interesting. Especially, I'm sure it was just required, but yeah. That's interesting. They can just reissue all the albums and put the parental advisory label on it.
Do you know that the Dead Kennedys were the reason that started?
It sounds familiar. I believe it.
Yeah, there's a whole story around that.
My favorite off this is what's the one with the bass intro? The doon 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 doon.
ASA OK.
Yes, ASA OK. That's a fucking awesome song. And Jay Frenzel is a fun song also.
Well, let's just see if we can knock at least 3 tracks off Anthem and replace them with some of these tracks.
ASA OK is gonna come in for She's Gonna Break Soon. What are you picking?
Oh shit, okay. I don't feel like ASOK feels like an album track though.
Maybe the opener instead of Welcome to the New South. I don't know.
Okay, I'd replace New South with that fucking what's it called? I think it's called Who Cares? No, Sobriety is a Serious Business. That's the one. So if the album opens like "So It's Sunrise," sober, I think that's a better album opener.
I agree. Sleep It Off might be a good contender to make the album also.
I feel like that sounds more like In With the Outcrowd, don't you think?
Maybe. It could be after Don't Fall Asleep on the Subway. Sleep It Off.
Okay.
Directly contradicting the song before it. Don't fall asleep on the subway, but sleep it off.
Right, how is it that you don't like She's Gonna Break, though? That was like a single for the UK. It might have been over there, too.
It probably was. I know it has the music video.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know. I really don't know. I especially don't like the radio edit where they took the horns out of the song. It's like,
They
what
did
the fuck's up with that?
That's the music video in the UK. They took the
Yeah.
horns out.
Yeah, it's the radio. It's the single version, I guess. The music video, the radio song. So that's kind of fucked up. Like, why would you do that? I'm sure it was the label was just like, no, we can't have horns in the radio song. Like, but I don't get it. Like, is like someone gonna hear the horns and be like, fuck these guys, I'm not listening to that album.
What were the other music videos before that? They had Gainesville. Maybe that was the only one.
Does Automatic have a video, or it's like live clips or something?
No, oh no, Dope Man. Dope Man had a video, didn't
Yeah,
it?
Dope Man. I think Dope Man and whatever Gainesville are the only like official videos at that point, probably.
Yeah.
I will say the music video is cool, and it reminds me more of like a Newfound Glory video almost for She's Gonna Break Soon, but or just any generic pop punk video from that era, I guess. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the song. It's not a very good song. Less Than Jake has always been a very like fan service based band, I would say, and like always eager to please fans. The cover art, do you know this? The cover art is all pictures that fans of the band sent in of themselves, and they
Oh.
photoshopped it to make it look like a crowd of people.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, man, we're learning stuff on the Podcrash today.
I'm very curious your thoughts on this album. Kind of for a while universally hated Less Than Jake album, I would say. To some extent, deservedly so. There's things I don't like about the album. Like we talked about auto-tune on Rockview. The auto-tune is very noticeable on Roger's parts, or maybe not auto-tune, but some vocal processing or whatever on a lot of this album. It's very, I don't know who produced the album. I don't like when producers like put their influence on like the sonic parts of an album, like adding vocal effects and all that kind of shit. Like, I'm fine with them like making creative decisions and stuff, but if they change how like it sounds, like if the band plays these songs live and they aren't able to recreate how the vocals sound and all that stuff, it's hard to explain. But that's my gripe with this album. It's very clean and like sterile sounding. And if you watch the live DVD, the anthology box set, where they play all the records live up to In With the Out Crowd, the songs sound way better live and like raw and stuff. So if the production was different, I think this album would have been a lot more well received. But it's almost produced like a pop album. But there are a few songs on here that almost like if they were on Rockview, I think that people would have like lost their shit about how great the songs are. Like Let Her Go, I feel like that could have fit in perfectly on Rockview. There's a few other songs I can't think of off the top of my head, and this record doesn't have the track list on it, so I have no assistance here. But I'm sure you have the CD in front of you and can
Well,
rattle off some songs.
I have the fancy deluxe edition.
Yeah,
which also has no track listing on the back.
It seems to be a common theme with Less Than Jake releases. No track list on the back.
But this one has the making of DVD, which
Yeah.
I think I said to you, it's kind of a pathetic DVD, really. I mean, you could fit a lot more footage on there. Like, I'd enjoy seeing more in studio shit. I mean, that's the fun shit for me. But,
Yeah.
there's a data disc on here as well with like tons of live clips and like fucking desktop wallpapers and that kind of thing. But I haven't heard this in about 6 years because I've just taken a break from Less Than Jake for that long. So I'm finally back on the band yet. Haven't got to this just yet. But my memory of it is that it just doesn't sound like Less Than Jake to me. It sounds a little bit too far from the original idea, with the exception of maybe 4-5 songs, like that Landmine song. That's like a classic Roger song. I do like Rest of My Life. I think that's a great song, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like Less Than Jake to me.
Yeah, I agree. There's Rest of My Life, and then what's the other one that's really slow? The truth is that I'm overrated. I can't think straight. I'm formulaic.
Is that the? That's not the album intro, is it? That might be the
No,
end.
it's at the end of the album.
Yeah,
You don't see me that way. You hear the words that I say.
yeah. That's
Uh,
a weird song.
It's good when it's cool when they do it acoustic. But I'm trying to remember the fucking song titles off this thing right now. But there's like "Don't Fall Asleep Sleep on the Subway" is an awesome pop punk song. "Fall Apart" is another. It's almost like easy core, like fucking like 4 Years Strong-ish, I guess. So it's a different album for sure. But there's also faster punk songs and stuff, like the first song, which again I can't remember the fucking title of right now.
That soundtrack
Oh wait, hold
to my
on.
life.
Yeah, "Soundtrack of My Life."
Yeah.
I got another copy of the album here. "Soundtrack of My Life." "Overrated" is a terrible song. "Independence Day." That's another faster song. And then what do we got? "Mostly Memories" is a cool song. The song I was thinking of that I was singing the lyrics, "Hopeless Case." That's the song, that slow one with the little guitar thing. And then the album closer is cool too. It's one of the few ska songs. "P.S. Shock the World." You know what I just saw? Produced by Howard Benson, who did Rockview.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was still doing the auto tune, but he turned it up a few notches, I feel like.
So you say Gainesville, Florida was your introductory CD to this
Yeah.
band?
I had heard "Losing Streak" and other stuff, but that just happened to be the first one I bought. And I think it's a fantastic album. I would say underrated, but I think it's like generally really well liked. I guess I would say it's like underknown because it was the first on "Sleep It Off," which is their just thing to release stuff themselves. Which is odd.
There's also that Cooking Vinyl label on it too, which I don't
Yeah, that
really
was in
understand.
the UK. Yeah, that was in
that's
the
the
UK.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I would say it probably didn't sell a whole lot of copies, unfortunately. So people who have heard the record, I would say love it. It's a fantastic album. It's got at some point a lot of the songs will probably be considered classic songs. Again, we talk about sequencing. You have "The City of Gainesville," which is that little ska intro into "The State of Florida," which is like ripping fast punk song, classic, like almost Losing Streak style Less Than Jake song.
It's exactly like the band saying we mean fucking business with this album.
Yeah, we're back. Fucking In With the Out Crowd. What's that? Yeah, this is like their second comeback album, I guess. You had Anthem was the first, which they weren't coming back from anything because they were releasing fucking awesome records. But like a return to prominence, almost, but without the sales to back it, I guess. But anyway, for like hardcore fans, this is like fuck yeah, Less Than Jake's back. There's ska songs, there's horns. It's fast, it's rough. The production is like straightforward. Um, and yeah, there's a ton of great songs on here. There's was it I don't know, it's Malachi or Malachi. Malachi Liquors, something. I don't remember the fucking song title.
Yeah.
Um, Summoning Monsters, or Handshake Meets Poker Face, and Conviction Notice. And again, I don't have the track list in front of me, so I'm trying to remember. But a great album. I never skip songs when I listen to it. It's awesome.
I would say it's completely fucking golden. Is this
Yeah.
the fastest album? I feel like it's the fastest.
Probably. You get you in and out real quick.
Do you have the antidote for the underdog track?
I don't think so. So I was looking for something to grab for this, and all I had was the 7-inch box set. And the only way to listen to the album with this is this shitty CD and a cardboard sleeve. I don't see it on here though, no. But there are some. I don't think there's any bonus tracks. There's just like demo versions of this. Oh wait, no, it's on here. Antidote for the Underdog. Yep, it's on here. I don't think it was a especially memorable bonus track from what I remember.
I was gonna say, like, that's the first song in a long time that sounds closer to like the classic ska sound, like the Boss Tones or something. It's got that.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of UK ska vibe to it as well, like people that go to the football and then listen to that kind of ska.
Mods or whatever.
Yeah. And
I'll have to go back and listen to it. It's been a while.
That reminds me, on Blue and White as well, they covered a Jam song, which was such a weird choice of cover song. That This Is a Modern World, that track.
Oh, really? That's a cover?
Yeah. That's the
I
Jam.
never knew that.
Oh shit, see, I'm teaching you shit now too.
I never knew that. It's not a very good song, but anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, GNVFLA. That's another thing I love about Less Than Jake is like, I don't know that. I guess they're proud to be from Florida. Like a lot of people, like they're embarrassed to be from here, and they're like, there's the whole Florida man thing and all that shit, and people from Florida are like dumb rednecks or whatever. But Less Than Jake is like the ultimate like flag bearers for being from the state of Florida. So it makes me proud. It's I don't know, like I'm moving to Texas in a few months, and I'm gonna see them in August, and it's gonna be weird because it's like you go, it's like if you're a football fan, seeing your home team play in an away stadium. I'm curious if Less Than Jake is gonna be as like loved and well regarded in Dallas. I'm sure they will, but anyway, it's gonna be different. Seeing them in Florida is like everyone's into it. It's packed fucking shows all the time. Like there are like our Green Day almost. Less Than Jake, Green Day of Florida. I get like being from like a place like Los Angeles or something is luxurious or whatever, but they're proud to be from Gainesville of all places.
Well, they're the only band that I think of when I think of Florida. But just on the subject of the live shows, I mean, I love the way they fucking come out with the fucking game show, Get Up and the Spinning Wheel. You know, which album
That
are we
was a
going to
while
play?
ago. They haven't done that. They did that one time, but there's like staples of a live show for Less Than Jake. There's the toilet paper guns.
Yeah.
The guys dressed in the Evo Kid costume and the skeleton man and all that stuff, and the comedy bits in between songs. So yeah, they're one of those bands, like if you seen them once, like you kind of seen them like every time, because they do similar stuff every time, but the set lists are so varied. Like you're probably gonna hear something that you didn't hear any of the other 20 times you saw them when you go see them the most recent time. So I never tire of seeing them live.
Yeah. Well, where did you actually? I don't remember if you were on the Less Than Jake Punk Rock Radar album rankings. Did they redo that one with you?
No, not yet at least. Which supposedly they're recording a new album, so maybe when that comes out, we redo it. But that predated my participation.
Yeah. So where would you rank this album then? Is this second, third, fourth place?
Probably like fifth. Probably
Fifth.
fifth. We got Losing Streak. Well, shit, it's probably better than maybe fourth. I don't know. Losing Streak, Rockview, Borders, Anthem, and GMVFLA maybe, or maybe it could flip with Anthem, fourth or fifth. It's an awesome album, but it's got tough competition, and it's not like a classic album at this point yet. Maybe in 10 years from now, it'll be considered a classic.
I call this an album. Fuck you. This is the last good Less Than Jake album for me.
It's fun. I was seeing the band a lot at this time, and they would play like half of it, like back to back to back. And where they got the Pac-Man song. I really wish the CD doesn't have the track list on it either, right? Because they didn't want to
No.
like pay royalties, I'm sure. Oh yeah, the Scooby Doo song. I just remembered because of the little cartoon there.
Wait, what version do you have? Because I don't have any pictures in mine. That's all I have.
This is the 7-inch
Okay.
on white vinyl. Yeah, it's all the same songs. I'm trying to remember, but the iCarly song was on this, I think, and the Pac-Man cereal, and a few other choice cuts. I don't know
Animaniacs.
what's that. Animaniacs? Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
awesome cover.
That's my favorite track, man.
I don't know that I would call this the last good thing they did, though. But damn, dude.
I mean, you can try and convince me that they did better shit, but since you say you don't really like the covers, I mean, just in general, like, how fond are you of this recording?
I don't listen to it often, but it's fun. It serves its purpose.
Yeah.
I wouldn't compare it against an album, though.
I wish they'd included more tracks, like the Happy Days song. That's not on there. They should have gone back and just included everything like that.
Yeah, I might be misremembering, but at one point I remember this being called Volume 1, maybe. I could be wrong. Or they referred to it as Volume 1, or implied they were going to make more of these TV show covers. But I'm probably wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure that I'm right. I don't know. But
Alright,
yeah,
so,
it's fun. It's fun. It is what it is.
Well, okay, so after Gainesville comes out, you're firmly a fan of this band at that point. Like, were you going to shows early on? Like, had you met the band?
Yeah, I saw them at the 2009 Warped Tour, and then they played the State Theater in St. Pete, Florida, a few times after that. And yeah, they come here at least twice a year. So yeah, I was seeing them quite a bit already at this point. And then this album came out, See the Light. This was a while after GMVFLA, and we had a few escapades along the way to get there. But I guess we're glossing over this. But yeah, this was the next studio album. And when right around the time this came out, they were in the second year of the Wake and Bake weekend in Gainesville, where they would play. At this point, they were playing 3 nights in a row at a little club called the High Dive. I think it had a previous name at one point, but the High Dive, it was this little 200-300 person club. And they would have like meet and greets, and like they had a yard sale this year, I think, where you could buy like old rare records and stuff. Like I got the Losing Streak picture disc there, and I got my my Anthem firecracker at the yard sale. Just like fun like collector's items and stuff you could get. And they signed my. Actually, I didn't get this signed at the Wake and Bake. I think I bought it on their website and they signed it. They did sign my losing streak, so that was cool. They signed it at the yard sale, and yeah, that was this was a fun time. Like at the time, I was like really into this record. Like I thought it was fucking great, and it's still pretty good. But yeah, I saw them.
We part
Right when it came
ways
out.
drastically here. Like this came out, and that's what bumped Less Than Jake out of third place for me. I don't get this album. I don't get it.
Well, let me elaborate. It hasn't stuck with me like insanely well. I rarely listen to the album. I do think it's a pretty steep drop off from GMVF LA. I don't think it's nearly as good as that. But it's still a fun album. It's got a lot of ska songs on it, which was a change. Like it's very ska heavy. Like it opens with a ska song, Good Enough. What else is Do the Math is a straight up like an almost two-tone style ska song. And then there's faster songs too that I like. The Troubles and Short History Lesson are some of the fast short songs on the record, but it has its down moments too. Like American Idol is a little bit of a bummer, and Sunstroke. But yeah, I don't think it's an incredibly strong album at this point, but it's fine. It's listenable. I'm not like enthusiastic about it though.
I couldn't even say that it's listenable. Like I heard it when it came out. I was excited about it, and then I was just pure disappointment. I was like, this,
You know, the other thing was it was Less Than Jake is back on Fat. That was a big thing at the time. Everyone was real excited about that. So that kind of set the album up to fail, I feel like, you know? There was all that anticipation about them being back on Fat.
yeah. Well, I didn't mean to jump completely over the season greetings things because you got those signed as well, didn't you?
Yeah, these were the Warped Tour, these little Kia Soul tent thing they did. And yeah, I like these two, and they ended up being combined for that Greetings and Salutations that has two other songs added on it. These are in line with See the Light, though, I feel like, as far as the quality of the songs. So nothing super notable there.
Look how like annoyingly
The
big
Case.
this is.
The Case, yeah, that was the UK thing. I saw someone on the Less Than Jake Facebook group posted that the Case is ridiculous in the UK.
It literally doesn't fit on my CD shelf.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I saw someone else posted that the other day. But these are standard digipacks, like a normal CD case size. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They did you guys dirty with that.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, so have you listened to See the Light at all, or not really?
I listened to it when it came out. I tried to give it a chance. Like every album, if I don't like it, I try and give it a chance. I'm gonna listen to it again when I get to it, like in a couple of weeks' time. I'm not gonna like it, dude. I'm telling you, it's not gonna hit me. and
Okay.
there's only a handful of songs off that Greetings comp that I liked.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 songs off there that I kind of like, but not really. I mean, it just seems like a decline for me at this point.
You thought See the Light was bad. Let's talk about the newest record, Silver Linings. I if I had to guess, you listened to this maybe once, or you listened to half of the album and then gave up on it. That's good. That's my guess.
I have never heard this album. I haven't heard
Never?
anything Less Than Jake have done since See the Light.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm a fanboy, but I'm realistic. If you did not like See the Light, you will hate this album. 100%. You will not like it at all. It is. I would say it's more of the same, but Vinny's not in the band anymore, so the strength of the lyrics, the lyrical content isn't there, And then musically, it's similar. It's a lot of slower mid-tempo stuff. And yeah, I wouldn't even bother trying to sell you on this. You aren't gonna like it. So, um, and yeah, it's in my bottom three probably. So, which is unfortunate. I will say I'm happy they're still releasing new music, even if it's not on par with my favorite Less Than Jake stuff. I'm happy they're still around. They're still putting shit out. They're not resting on their laurels, but it's not a good album. It's a decent album. It's not great. One song you will like, Monkey Wrench Myself, super fast punk song. You'll like that song 100%.
But well, we teased it enough, so you have resequenced this one. Do you have the tracks that you've
No, I
resequenced?
don't. I don't have it in front of me, so you can read me what I put. I think I put Monkey Wrench Myself further up in it though, right? Did I have read me track by track and I'll tell you why I did it, I guess. I think I have High
Yeah.
Cost at the beginning still.
Yeah. So yeah, track 1, High Cost. Track 2,
Yeah.
Monkey Wrench. So what's the reason you've moved these around? I guess.
High Cost it's a staple of the live set. It's like Gainesville Rock City 2.0. It's a song about Gainesville and like basically being like a degenerate, like wasting all your money going out to the bars on like weeknights and stuff, and like living paycheck to paycheck. So it's a similar homage to the city of Gainesville, I guess. And then Monkey Wrench is the fastest song. So you have like the party song at the beginning, and then it rolls into the super fast punk song. So to kind of be like to hook you, because the way it's sequenced right now, the second song is like a mid tempo like anthemic pop punk song, which I don't think grabs the attention as well. So where do we go from there? What's track 3
That would
for
be
my?
Anytime and Anywhere.
Yeah, that one's kind of a stinker. So I just kind of put it wherever.
Oh, you can cut it off. You can get rid of it.
I would have gotten rid of it if I knew. But
Oh,
read
fuck
me
it.
off.
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, let's get rid of it.
Lost at Home.
It's a super slow ska song. Not a big fan. I'd probably get rid of that too, honestly.
Oh, okay. And then you've got Lie to Me next at track 3.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's another thing we forgot to mention, the Sound the Alarm EP. You probably haven't heard that. I think that was after See the Light. It's another like pop punk song where Roger's singing. It's a good one.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of a music video that came out for one of those tracks.
Yeah, there is a video for it.
Yeah, yeah. And then you've got King of the Downside. That's a good name for a track.
Yeah, it is. It's a decent song. It reminds me of In With the Out Crowd era pop punk, Less Than Jake.
And I'm going to make a bold prediction here. The song Bill, is this Bill Stevenson? Is that because Chris had him on his podcast?
I don't know if it's because he had him on his podcast, but yes, it is a song about Bill Stevenson. And I was thinking, so the album was mixed by the Blasting Room, but it was not. Bill Stevenson doesn't do the mixing there. Jason Livermore does. But it's pretty well known that I know Roger especially is a big All fan. So, and obviously, like the Descendants and All are very influential, and they're big fans of the bands. So, yeah, it's an homage to Bill Stevenson. When I hear the song, I think of and hopefully, well, there's no way he's gonna watch this. My old job, I was the manager of this store, and my assistant manager was named Bill, and he was this like total like aloof like pothead dumbass who was like the biggest pain in the ass because he was always fucking stuff up. So that I can't listen to the song. It pisses me off thinking of that guy because he just made my life a living hell. So
Well, that
I don't know
sounds
what-
like a guy that Less Than Jake would have written a song about.
probably yeah.
Then you have Keep On Chasing.
Not a very good song. I probably would have cut it off honestly. It's
Get rid of it.
corny, like hokey lyrics. And the lyrics in the chorus, it says, love is like a drug and it keeps me waiting, always on the run and I keep on chasing. I don't want to go, but I think I have to now. But that love is like a drug thing is, man, it's rough. What's next?
That would be The Test.
A similar corny lyrics, but it's like a ska song. I don't know.
Are we keeping that one? I think we're going to turn this
I
into an EP.
I'm on the fence on that one, but we'll leave it. We're getting to EP territory if I cut more.
Dear Me.
It's like this is very similar to See the Light songs, like that American Idol song, like a real depressed bullshit song. Anyway, yeah, that one might get cut too.
That's okay. And then we've got So Much Less.
I don't remember much about the song, so we'll keep it.
Okay.
I don't know why I put it there.
And then we're closing the album with Move.
Yeah, this one has really bad lyrics too. The album is real weak for lyrics. They really need Vinny back for maybe as a ghostwriter or something, because the lyrics are the real weak spot of the album. My idea behind resequencing it how I was to put as much of the good stuff towards the beginning, though, because when an album has a bunch of bad songs and you're like having to like skip one here, listen to two, skip another one here, like it gets a little tiring. So let's just stack the front end of the record with the decent or good stuff, and then we can just take the CD out for the back half. You know, don't fuck around with having to skip around and all that stuff.
Well, who's taken over like as lead songwriter? Is it just Chris and Roger? Is Buddy writing?
No, not Buddy. Yeah, it's Chris and Roger, and then JR writes a few songs on here and there. By the way, we're not going to talk about it at length, but this is the new EP, Uncharted. It just came out in November of last year, and this is a step in the right direction, I feel like. They seem to have figured out how they want to write songs a little bit without post Vinny. It's better than Silver Linings. I think you might like a few songs off of it, but it's only 7 songs, so it's a lot more economical, and they're catchy songs. So no like depressing bummer songs like on See the Light and Silver Linings. So if I was going to sell you on something, it would be this. We'll forgo Silver Linings, not going to bother with that one, but this might be worth a listen. Uncharted. Fun little 7-song EP.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned depressing bum outs there, like how did you feel when Vinny left the band?
Like Matt, their current drummer, he used to play in Teen Idols, so he's an awesome drummer. And he's been around the band for a long time. He was the band's tour manager and stuff for forever. And he's a nice guy, and he's a great drummer, but he's not a songwriter. So there's a big hole in the songwriting that Vinny left. So at first I was like, fuck, dude, like, who's going to write the songs? And obviously that was a valid concern to have at this point. But I don't know if he left or if he got kicked out or what the deal is. But I will say they've never acknowledged his departure, as far as I know, which is kind of weird and makes me feel like it wasn't the best terms that he left on. Otherwise, they'd be like, hey, Vinny, thanks for playing in the band for 25 years and writing all these awesome songs and shit, you know? That's a little suspicious to me. But that's my parasocial over-analysis, I guess. But yeah, there's a big void in the songwriting, I feel like. He's an incredible songwriter, and he wrote all the band's best songs, so it was a bit of a bummer. But I'm glad they're still going. They still sound great live. Matt's a great drummer, like I said. Yeah, I'm happy with how things are.
Yeah. Well, just some quick shit to wrap up with then. What's your favourite album cover?
I think Rockview, maybe. Rockview, this is part of the reason people like this so much, I feel like, is the album cover. It's so iconic. Maybe tied with Losing Streak, but I think that this is a better cover. If I'm being unbiased, it's a cool ass cover. You got the. I thought this guy was Superman for a little bit, but I guess it's the Less Than Jake version of Superman.
I don't know if the cover art matches the album title, because it's about Rockview Prison, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
something
think
like.
the gist of it is basically like, hey, I'm off to Rockview Prison kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Losing Streak, fucking monster guy holding a horseshoe. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I actually can't pick one that I like. I don't like any of the album covers, except for
No
maybe
way,
Losing
man. Come
Streak.
on.
No, Losing Streak seems like classic, like 90s punk album cover. Like, that works. That's for me.
Yeah, shout out to Jason Armadillo. I think that's the guy's name who made the all the art for Losing Streak, including this alternate devil guy and all the stuff with the horseshoes and the dice and the rabbit's foot and all that stuff. I think he's from Tampa, actually. Jason Armadillo did a lot of the early. I think he did the art for the earlier stuff too. I could be wrong. Anyway, great, cool artist. I think he did Smoke Spot also. So
I ask all my musical guests this. Who's the most iconic punk rocker to you?
Joe Strummer, I guess, probably.
But
I'm not
that's the
saying that
person
just 'cause
who's
you're
had the
British.
most impact on you.
I don't know if impact on me. I don't know. Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah.
I don't ever think about these things too much, dude. If I said Chris the Makes from Less Than Jake, that might sound kind of silly.
So, top 3 less than Jake tracks, and then we'll wrap up.
Rock and Roll Pizzeria. Last Hour of the Last Day of Work. And it changes like probably daily. Fuck. Let's go. Last One Out of Liberty City. How about that?
Well, let's burn this fucking Podcrash to the ground.
You gotta make the title Less Than Jake Fanboy Hour on the Crash and Bleed podcast.
Yeah, well, hey man, this has been fun nerding out over this band with you.
Yeah, the greatest band of all time. Unbiased opinion right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully somewhere down the line I can get you back on and we'll fucking nerd out over another band or some shit.
Sure, MXPX.
Maybe.
Slick Shoes Fanboy Hour on the Crash and Bleed podcast. Stay tuned.
All right, man. Thanks so much for doing this, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me. If any of your viewers don't already know, check out Punk Rock Radar.
I think the only people watching this are going to be Punk Rock Radar fans.
We do tier lists for bands, albums, and we talk about all kinds of obscure punk rock stuff that you might not hear about elsewhere. Now that Finn McKenty is gone from YouTube, and also check out DyingScene.com, where I post about new releases and vinyl records and all kinds of bullshit like that. But yeah, thanks for having me, man, and thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, man.
Go back to where you came from, the Punk Rock Radar Discord. If anyone from the band watches this, they're gonna be like, I need to get a restraining order against this guy, dude. He's fucking obsessed. We don't even care about our music that much.
Or they're just going to be offended that I haven't listened to any of their music for the last decade.
No, they're probably, yeah, See the Light fucking sucks. He's right.